Hey, what's going on, guys? I think I should be streaming. Yes, I am streaming now. Good. Alright. So we're going to be playing some pinball today. I actually happen to love pinball. But the guys at... Oh, cool. We're just in the middle of one already. I don't even know if this is going right. Every time I stream, something weird happens. Greetings. Hello, hello. Oh, here we go. Now people are coming in. Alright. For a second I thought I messed something up. So we're playing some pinball. This is the world premiere of the Calrissian Chronicles pinball table. If you don't know, I actually really love pinball. I used to own a table. I had the old 1993 Indiana Jones table from Williams, which was awesome. But the people that made this table wanted me to show it off, and I was like, sure, I like pinball. And this table actually is pretty cool. It has a lot of connections to Star Wars canon stuff. And I think it's the first time we've ever heard Lobot's voice. But I figured we'd just have a casual little hangout. I'll try to keep my eye on the chat.
Come on in.
There we go.
You did all you could, but we need to get moving again.
Oh, I'm glad people are glad I'm streaming. Yeah, I need to stream more often. It's something I know I should do. Oh, crap. No, I don't want to turn on filter keys. Should have worked on my keyboard settings before coming in here. Mr. Pellin, this is on Steam. This is on my PC.
Let's get that safely stowed away.
But yeah, there's some really cool stuff in this. Like, you can see in the middle of the table all the different scenes you can play, and some of them are from the movies, and some of them are from Star Wars Rebels, and one of them is from the comics. So, pretty cool that they took all that stuff in.
No need to worry. Allow me to demonstrate my skill. Just demonstrating exactly what not to do in situations like this.
Alright, so this is the comic mission, so we'll go for that. And since I'm changing the era, I think it changes, yeah, the costume. The Andy Show, what's my favorite MCU movie? Good question.
It's a quick job. The payoff is huge.
I don't know.
We'll be able to keep a good chunk of it. It won't just get us back.
If I'm being honest, I don't really think about the MCU all that much after I see the movie. So it's like whatever the last one I saw, I tend to just like a lot. I like all of them. Iron Man is probably the one that I've seen the most. and it's still, I'm sure, one of my favorites. Oh.
This is most unlike you.
What was my favorite? Michael King. What's my favorite Star Wars comic books? Honestly, probably the Lando book is one of them.
You have leveled up in single player results.
But yeah, the Lando comic book is like one of those 5-issue short ones, and it was awesome. Lobot was great in it. It took him from being a character that I enjoyed to a character I really like now. Star Wars Network, I did see Infinity War. I do see all of the MCU movies. I'm just like, I talk about the MCU a lot in the context of how a more casual Star Wars fan views things, because I'm a very casual MCU fan. I don't know much about Marvel other than what I've seen in the movies. I don't read the books. So a lot of these stories, even if they're based on comic books, it's like the first time I'm seeing them. So I try to keep that attitude in mind when I'm talking about how the more casual Star Wars fan might view something. Every time I catch the ball, I can go over and look at questions. Ralph, who's my favorite Ghost crew member? Dang it. Please don't do that anymore. I'm just going to turn all those off. My favorite Ghost crew member, probably Kanan. I really liked his story being told over the course of a book and comics and then the show.
You might want to try and stop those droids from smashing themselves to pieces.
Ooh, favorite female Jedi? I mean, I grew up on Legends, so Mara Jade obviously is high up on my list. Jaina Solo as well. For the canon ones... I do like Depa Billaba a lot. She's, I mean, related to Kanan. I liked their relationship in the comic.
Come on, Elfie. You did all you could.
Oh, come on.
But we need to get moving again. This is just a temporary setback, Lobot. No need to worry.
Han Shop first. What do I think of the voice actor that's doing Lando? I think he does a fine job. What I was more excited about is I think Tom Kane did the voice of Lobot. And this is the first time we've ever heard Lobot talk. Oh, that was bad.
Stay focused.
There he just talked. And told me to stay focused. It's like, well, you know what, Lobot? I'm trying to talk to people and play this game at the same time. It's hard. It makes me wonder if... Oh my god, I did it again. It makes me wonder if there are plans to have Lobot talk in the future. Probably not in the movies. Like, after the Lando comic, he doesn't talk anymore for good reason. But he could, I don't know, pop up in a future Lando movie or something. I think that'd be cool. No! I'm not doing well. Oh. I'm trying to read this super chat. Jake, thank you. That's the thing about pinball. It's so low stakes. I can get a game over and it's fine. We'll just keep going. Yeah, thank you, Jake. Keep up the great work. Appreciate you and Molly more than you may know. Based on your Dragon Con videos, I hope Celebration is half as fun. I am sure it will be. We're gonna have a blast, man.
Single player results.
I love Dragon Con, but Star Wars Celebration. I've only been to one of them, but it was amazing. It was such a good time. Ooh, what's the best and worst Legends books? Cody Fox. I like a lot. I mean, I talk about my favorites quite a bit. The Darth Bane trilogy, the Thrawn trilogy, the X-Wing books are at the top of my list. Darth Plagueis. The worst ones? See, I need to get back on rereading them, like I started doing. The Crystal Star, I recall being kind of rough. What am I trying to think of? The Courtship of Princess Leia. See, that one gets a lot of hate nowadays, but I remember really liking that one, so I wanted to bring that up. I was also a fan of the Yuzhan Vong series, which I feel like that gets a lot of unnecessary hate as well.
Maybe we should just get going and leave them to it. Come on, L3. You did all you could, but we need to get moving again.
Alright, there we go. Let's just do the first scene this time. Yeah, Daniel, that's a good way of putting it. Without Courtship of Princess Leia, we wouldn't have Dathomir. I guess it's just gonna choose for me, huh? Alright, so we gotta... Dang it. I just got there.
Tell me, Lando, what exactly do you need so many capes for?
Stick around long enough, Han, and I'm
Robulus, our bromance, the bromance with me and Elliot is the best. Yeah, I missed that boy.
smuggler. Such a small word.
It stinks that we live in different countries. We are literally star-crossed lovers.
Let's get that safely stowed away. Ball safe. Stay focused.
Michael, I already did Shadows of the Empire as a lore play series, so you can go watch it all right now.
This is just
All right.
a temporary setback, Loba. No need to worry.
Alex, I did know that Muse had a new album out.
Just demonstrating exactly what not to do in situations like this. A quick hand of survival.
About what, Streamlabs?
Ball
I don't know what
safe.
that means.
Stay focused.
Even if I knew what it meant, I wouldn't know how to fix it.
I had some people go over
always
to
go back to
Elliot's
mining
stream
on local.
towards the end and spam it
Yeah,
big
right.
stupest.
You have leveled up. Congratulations. Single player results.
The name's Lando Calrissian. Welcome.
Be like, hey, it's Molly, and now she's gone. She is working on our Dragon Con cosplay video.
Allow me to demonstrate my skill.
Do I think there was a chance Hera was Green Leader at Scarif? I doubt it. I don't think... I mean, she would have announced her presence
Not to do in situations like
if she were there, and she didn't. It was just, man, I'm not doing good. It was just Blue Leader, Red Leader, Gold Leader, so... Yeah, I don't think she was flying under a color name. I think she was just there in the ghost.
This is just a temporary setback, robot. No need to worry.
Simon, what do I think of Kylo getting the Ulick treatment at the end of episode 9? I think that would be interesting if he were to... I assume you mean lose his force powers, his connection to the force. I think that would be very interesting. Thanks, Lobot. All right.
This is most unlike you.
Hey, Elliot. Did Molly expose me? Yeah, I know what Streamlabs is and what it's for, but I haven't streamed in so long that I guess something is messed up. But yeah, I really need to be streaming more often. It's just that I basically feel like I'm bad at it because I either focus on the game or I focus on the chat, and it's hard for me to do both. It's like with pinball, you can try to catch the ball, but... got it, okay. Tree Shaker, yes, we are definitely going to be at Star Wars Celebration. And Melissa, I'm playing this on my PC.
They aren't listening, L3. Maybe we should just get going and leave them to it.
Who's my favorite video game character from Force Unleashed, Old Republic, Shadows of the Empire, I don't know that I have a favorite for every single game, but I do love Dash Rendar. He was like one of my earlier Star Wars video game characters. Kyle Katarn is probably my first love, but I liked Dash a lot. Andy, my favorite Star Wars canon novel is probably a toss-up right now between Lost Stars and Thrawn. I really loved both of them. Alright. Get up there. Nope. Gotta try to shoot up into the coaxium thing, and well,
What exactly do you need so many capes for?
didn't do that.
Long enough, and I might just let you know. Let's get that safe.
Oh, now I get it. Andy, do I think Kaz Jono will be in episode 9? Not really. I think, like Star Wars Rebels, those characters are mostly going to be kept in with their own shows. Rebels had cameos in Rogue One, kind of, but I don't think that Kaz is going to be like a major part in episode 9.
Well, I could always go back to mining on low.
In third, will Eli and Thrawn meet again?
Right.
I think so. I got to talk to Timothy Zahn about that a little bit, and he has ideas. I think it'll happen. It's more up to Lucasfilm to give him the go-ahead to write more books, but considering how well Thrawn did, and I assume Alliances is doing well also, I can't imagine that they would shut those stories down. So I'm trying to catch the ball so I can pay more attention to the chat. Uh, Ian, yeah, I still get notifications from the reference Discord sometimes. Shriv would be cool if he were in episode 9. I could see that a little more. Like, that's a little more likely to me because he is a Duros. And you can just put makeup on anyone and have him stand in the background or something. So, something like that I can see. Alright, catch it? Cool. Do I know what battalions Keely and Phil were in? I do not. Ethan, sorry. I actually don't even know who those characters are. If you want to enlighten me, I will try to catch it.
They aren't listening, L3. Maybe we should just get going and leave them to it. Come on, L3. You did all you could, but we need to get moving again.
How do I feel about Solo being the first Star Wars to not start in space? That didn't bother me. I think that's fine. I don't think Star Wars needs to adhere to too many rules. Because that just limits what they can and can't do. I think they're better off just letting every storyteller do whatever they want. Dang.
This is most unlike you.
True or false? Solo needed a victory Star Destroyer. I mean, it would have been cool, but like, it's one of those things where we would have noticed, but most people aren't gonna know or care. So, no, I don't think it needed a victory class Star Destroyer. It just would have been neat. But like, on the other hand, I don't think that there is any harm at all in including something like that. Come on. There's zero harm in including a victory class Star Destroyer because it's still, I don't know, it still looks like an Imperial ship, so I don't think it would be all that confusing. What? Where did that come from?
Stick around long enough, Han, and I might just let you know.
Alright. Have I read the Marvel Star Wars Legends Collection comic book series? No. Like, the classic one? I've read a handful of those stories separately, but I haven't read, like, that big collected book, which I have seen. When Padme and Clovis were together, do you think she truly loved him, or was it more of a physical attraction? Carson? I don't know. Probably more of a fling. I think it meant more to him than it did to her, if that makes sense.
This is just a temporary setback, Robot. No need to worry.
Yeah, Jake, I don't know how Elliot streams so well.
What not to do in situations like this.
He's just good at it. Maybe it's his age. Maybe I'm just too old to be able to handle doing everything at the same time, but it's a lot for me. Have I played Fortnite? No, I never have. I'm more of a PUBG guy, but I haven't played that in a while either.
Let's get that safely stowed away.
This is most
Well.
unlike you.
Well, I could always go back to mining on Lotho. Yeah, right.
Michael Geheb, what do I think the next Legends area content will become canon? I know that they're going to explore the Old Republic at some point. I mean, I don't know that for sure, but I have to assume that they're going to. And that's probably the next big major thing that we're going to see.
Just demonstrating exactly what not to do in situations like this.
I'm still kind of guessing. Oh, dang. I'm guessing that the Benioff Weiss series might be in that era. We also don't know when Rian Johnson's trilogy is going to take place. It could be any number of things.
This is just a temporary setback, Lobot. No need to worry.
Steve, what's the most ridiculous thing in all of Star Wars? Probably, I used to have it as my Twitter, like, featured image. I don't know what to call it. The banner. And it was a droid of Princess Leia shooting an Imperial named Triclops with her Cyclops eyes. Like a laser beam out of her eyes. And that is one of the most insane things in all of Star Wars. And third, do I think that the Rebels finale was a little out of character for Thrawn? I do. And something that I am upset at myself that I forgot to ask was asking Timothy Zahn how he felt about that. But Molly actually kind of convinced me otherwise of why. So the out of character thing that I thought of was that he wouldn't have continued to bombard Lothal after Ezra surrendered. That doesn't seem like him. But Molly pointed out how many times the Ghost Crew got away from him. Not to mention, we're coming off of Thrawn Alliances in Season 4 of Star Wars Rebels. And Thrawn has been berated, basically, for letting them go. Vader keeps yelling at him about it. So it's kind of like, yeah, he has to make sure that Ezra's not going to pull any funny business. So that's kind of how I'm rationalizing it now.
Ball save. Stay focused.
Any chance I'd be willing to read something? Yeah, you can email me whatever you want. Cool. Is there a mention of droids freeing from oppression in Legends? There are a handful of things. Nothing super overt, but I mean, IG-88 tried to start a droid revolution. HK-47 tried to start a droid revolution.
How many
So,
times are we going
yeah.
to do this, Lando?
I looked over Torrance' plan. It's a quick job. The payoff is huge, and we'll be able to keep a good chunk of it. It won't just get us back to level. We'll be ahead.
Dang it.
This is just a temporary setback, Lobot. No need to worry.
Ghost World, you just read from a certain point of view about the red one. Yeah, that was kind of a sad story, but it ended on a hopeful note, I think.
Single player results.
Allow me to demonstrate demonstrate my skill.
Chewbacca, would I ever want Star Wars to cross over with another series? No, not really.
Just demonstrating exactly what not to do.
I think it should just stay its own thing.
Stay focused.
What do I think about a battle between the CIS and the Cylons? I think the CIS would stomp them. Man.
This is most unlike you.
Yeah, I think the CIS was much more well-equipped than the Cylons were. Now, if we're just talking, like, one battle droid versus one non-skin job Cylon, I think the Cylon would destroy.
L3.
It'd be interesting to see a Cylon versus, like, a B2 battle droid, because they're very similar. Kylo Ren, thanks for loving our videos. I'm a fan of your movies.
They aren't listening, L3. Maybe we should just get going and lead them to it. Come on, L3. You did all you could. But we need to get moving again. A quick hand of Sabak?
Ooh. Thanos versus Vader? I guess it depends on...
I hate to leave so early and take your credits, gentlemen.
Oh, I don't know what's
But
happening.
something's come up requiring my...
I guess it depends on whether or not Thanos has the Infinity Gauntlet, but I kind of want to guess that Vader would win. Let's say no Infinity Gauntlet. I think Vader could beat Thanos. I don't really have any data to back that up. I don't know that much about Thanos outside of what I saw in the movie. Should probably ask Rob from Comics Explained about that.
What exactly do you need so many capes for?
Stick around long enough, Han, and I might just let you know.
Fernando, no, I do not own the, like, officially licensed Sabak game. Least favorite Clone Wars episodes? Melissa, probably...
Ball save.
Probably D-Squad. Or some of the early ones with Jar Jar. Not trying to hate on Jar Jar, but they were awfully silly. Which people love to talk about how adult Clone Wars could be, despite it being for kids, and how, like, Resistance is going to ruin Star Wars now. It's like, did you watch Season 1? It was so goofy. Doesn't mean it's bad, but I think you're remembering the best parts about the Clone Wars and not what it actually was. Focus this camera down a little bit. Every time, it just goes right down there.
Tell me, Lando.
Daniel Ortega, do I think Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is as bad as everyone says? Not really. I enjoyed it enough. It's not nearly as good as Raiders of the Lost Ark or The Last Crusade,
Back to mining on Lothal.
but I liked it. It was fun.
You have leveled up an upgrade of this table.
By the way, if you put in the chat, answer me like an order, you're just making me not want to answer you. Everyone thinks that, like, people are ignoring them on chats or something. It's like, it goes by so fast, I can't see everything. Yeah, Drew, Indiana Jones 5 2020. I'm so excited. Like, I'm just excited to go back to that universe. I love Indiana Jones.
To my home.
Wolf Chase, that's a good point. The D Squad arc did introduce Gregor. And Gregor is awesome.
Allow me to demonstrate my skill.
I mean, the D Squad arc still had stuff that's very worthwhile in it. Like that one droid that keeps getting beat up the whole time and then sacrifices himself to save the other droids that's great stuff. It's just the whole premise is a little silly. Ooh. Who would I like to see alongside Harrison Ford in Indy 5? I'd kind of want to see Sala in Short Round back. I think that'd be awesome. I love Sala / just John Rhys Davies in general.
Smashing themselves to pieces.
Armando, do I collect Black Series? Not really. Our collection is more Funko-based, thanks to Molly. I am not a huge collector. I remember at one point, I think we did kind of an office tour video, and people were surprised that I have like a few things that I'm really proud of, but I don't really collect action figures all that much. I more collect the stories. I have all the comics and I have all the books and stuff like that. Molly likes to collect the Funkos, and then occasionally I'll see just something that I have to have. Like I have a awesome 000 BT1 set that I got at Celebration last year, and I love that thing. And I have a very impressive Biggs collection, if I do say so myself. Probably the only Biggs collection in the world.
Oh no. Let's get out of here before we're blasted. Is this seat taken?
Come join us, Ann. Lando Calrissian. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Well, this is the farthest I've gotten in this mission so far. If it'll get out of there, I'll start trying to hit Sabacc cards. There we go. No! Every time I do that mission, it goes out that way. Ghost World, yeah, I know that there's a new Biggs Lego and that X-Wing. I need to get the X-Wing.
Demonstrate my skill. Just demonstrating exactly what not to do.
Oh, is Han just hanging out now? Oh, no, he's going.
All safe. Stay focused.
Favorite Funko I have, Michael?
This is just
Dang
a
it.
temporary
That would
setback.
be my Biggs Funko.
No need to worry. Well, I could always go back to mining on.
It's the only one we kept in a box.
Yeah, right.
You have level.
Oh, Smeagol, what is my favorite panel that I went to or spoke at? The episode 9 speculation panel was really fun. That was, me and Molly were on that with the girls from Skye Talkers and Riley and Bethany from the Star Wars Report. So that was a good time. And it was Molly's very first panel.
My skill. Just demonstrating exactly what not to do in situations like this.
Shoot, the author panel was pretty great. I always love hearing all of the people that write the books talk. And of course, like speaking to Henry Gilroy and Timothy Zahn was amazing. I got to talk to Timothy Zahn last year, and it was still thrilling to do so again. And now, 2 years in a row, like, he's just wound up talking with me after the interview is over. It's like we are supposed to clear the room, but he wants to just stay and chat for another 10 minutes. And this year he apologized for talking my ear off about Star Wars, as if I were checking my watch or something, like I had anywhere else to be. Like, talking to Timothy Zahn about Star Wars isn't a dream come true for anybody. Let's do Carbonite, why not? Ultimate Boy, who's my favorite character? You must be new here. Biggs, Darklighter, is the best character in all of Star Wars. Should I just have to beat up Vader? I hate that.
This is most unlike you.
Darth Hamer, can I explain Rey's substantial force powers with virtually zero training? Sure. I'll tell you the way I have reconciled it for myself, anyway. So I think that the Force is a state of mind. And training can help you achieve that state of mind. I mean, it's like, think of it kind of like meditating, where it's hard to do if you've ever tried. It's something that takes practice, but not for everyone. Sometimes people are just, I don't know, gifted in it. And let's look at the difference between Rey and Luke specifically. When Luke is learning about the Force from Yoda, he is very skeptical. He doesn't believe that he can pull an X-Wing out of the swamp, for example. He just doesn't believe that the Force can do these things. Rey doesn't have any of those kind of mental blocks. She just believes in herself and believes in the Force and accepts the fact that it can do some things. And I honestly do think that that is part of the Force, and having that kind of just belief or whatever you want to call it. Why?
This is just a temporary
So let's also look back at like the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, where you see like Force sensitive 2-year-olds levitating building blocks and stuff. That's kind of along those same lines. You don't need to go through years and years of training to be okay with the Force. And also, I don't know that Rey is as insanely powerful as people make her out to be. I mean, she lifted a bunch of rocks, and she can hold her own with a lightsaber, and she knows how to fight. She grew up fighting, so I don't know. None of that stuff bothers me because I'm just in it for the story and the characters, and I don't care about the rules, so to speak. And I know some people do. I'm not saying that's wrong. That left gutter is the death of me. I think people just have different things that they love about Star Wars, and I don't know. I don't really care about how much training it takes to do X, Y, or Z with the Force. I just want a good story. Nope. Just catch it. There we go. Ooh. Armored Guardian, my favorite obscure Star Wars novel. That's a good question.
Such a small word. I'm more
Trying to think of, like, the oldest one that I read. That's a tough one. Everything I can think of, it's like, that's not that obscure. Clone Wars or Rebels? I'm one of the people that is... Oh, Just choosing for me. I like Rebels more. I like linear storytelling. I think both shows have strengths and weaknesses. I do think that when Clone Wars is at its best, it's better than Rebels. But I think overall, I enjoyed the linear storytelling of Rebels, and it still brought in some like weird and cool stuff about the Force. Like, I loved the World Between Worlds. I love Twilight of the Apprentice. Also, I should say that a lot of the things that I love about Rebels wouldn't exist without Clone Wars. I mean, the Mortis arc is related to the World Between Worlds. I love Twilight of the Apprentice because of what happened in the Clone Wars. I love Twin Suns because of Maul's arc in the Clone Wars. So it's weird. They're connected in a way, but overall I just prefer the let's start at one point and go forward and just follow one group of characters instead of jumping all over and doing all the different arcs. Just what I prefer. Jake, when I need to get away from Star Wars, what do I do? Molly and I will watch TV together, or I'll just read something that isn't Star Wars. Right now we're watching iZombie. I like watching stand-up comedy. I'm trying to just be better about reading non-Star Wars stuff. It had been a while, and now I started the Red Rising series by Pierce Brown.
This is just a temporary setback, Robot.
I'm just trying to read more stuff. We're watching Castle Rock too, and that's making me want to watch Stephen King stuff, or read Stephen King stuff. Which I've never read a Stephen King book, except for The Dark Tower. I read the first one of those. I am just not doing good.
Stay focused.
L3, you might want to try and stop those droids from smashing themselves to pieces.
The Zorba the Hutt books. I remember those books.
Aren't listening.
That's something I kind of miss from Legends, is the Hutt intricacies, I guess, and how the families fought with each other, the different clans and stuff. I really liked that stuff in the Han Solo trilogy by A.C. Crispin.
You did all you could.
That bumper and that gutter hate me.
Like you.
I've seen a lot of Stephen King movies. I just have never read a Stephen King book, except for The Dark Tower is the only one.
Ball safe. Stay focused.
Do I have thoughts on the Lord of the Rings Amazon show? I don't know yet. I mean, I'm excited about it, I guess. I don't know. I guess I don't care all that much about Aragorn's backstory, which it's supposed to follow, but like anything else, I'm hopeful that it'll be good and enjoyable. I've got a bit of a sour taste in my mouth from the Hobbit movies, which I love the Hobbit book. I love the Lord of the Rings books and movies, but I don't know. The Hobbit movies just didn't do it for me. Will I write a Star Wars fan novel? I don't really see myself as much of a writer. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say never. Like, I think I would rather, instead of writing a novel, I would probably be better suited to the kind of things that Pablo Hidalgo writes. The reference books, or like the in-universe, I guess they're still reference books, like the Rebel Files, or
This is just a temporary setback, Robot.
what's he got coming out? That Scum and Villainy book. and he did the propaganda book where it was like art, propaganda art throughout the ages, but it was written in universe. Stuff like that I think I would be better at than actually writing a story.
Single player results.
The name allow me to demonstrate my skill.
My favorite ship, the X-Wing.
Just demonstrating exactly what not
Straight to
do
that
in
gutter.
situations like this.
Ball safe. Stay focused. This is most.
I went to read the chat and I didn't watch at all. Drew, have been playing for about 50 minutes. Probably got another 10 minutes or so in me. We are going to a concert tonight. Our friend from LA is in town doing a show, so we're gonna go check him out.
Ball
Oh my gosh.
Stay focused.
This is just a temporary
This is
setback.
like my worst game so far.
No need to worry.
What do I think of EA's handling of the Star Wars license? Yeah, I'm with you. Where I want more games. I mean, Battlefront was fun while I played it, and like I've met a lot of the DICE team, and they're all awesome, hardworking people. But I am a more story-driven person. Like I'm playing through Spider-Man right now, and I love that game. It's so much fun. And I like the story in it. And like my favorite games are The Last of Us and the Uncharted series. Like I want more games like that. And I mean, Star Wars, there's definitely a place for games like Battlefront. Because it's more about fulfilling a Star Wars fantasy and like being put into these battles, and that's awesome. But I'm hoping Fallen Order is like a nice, I don't know. I hope it's comparable to The Last of Us or Uncharted or Spider-Man, which I think Spider-Man has like a 15-hour campaign, which that sounds good. Just give me a good story. So, yeah, I would agree that I hope that down the line there are more developers working on Star Wars than just EA. This music is making me tense up. Do I like prequel memes? They make me laugh. But I'll be honest, the subreddit, it's not really a fun place to be. Everyone there just seems to be very angry.
This is most unlike you.
What's my favorite Rebels episode? Maybe Twilight of the Apprentice or The World Between Worlds.
Right.
I love both of those.
You have leveled up an upgrade of this table. Single player results.
The name's Lando Calrissian. Welcome to my home.
That's a good point. Spyros and Armored, like, that's just kind of Reddit.
My skill.
It's funny, the
Just demonstrating exactly what not to do.
the subreddit I most frequent now is r/Star Wars leaks, and I'm someone that I do not like leaks. I'm not like morally opposed to them. I just I try to avoid that stuff. I want to see the movie fresh without any spoilers. But the people there are really nice and very careful about showing spoilers. Like, if there is something legit that could spoil something, they warn you before you click on it. And otherwise, they just talk about news and stuff. And everyone is, like, nice to each other. I wish the rest of Reddit were like that. Emily, what's my favorite Star Wars movie? It's A New Hope. I don't think any movie is ever going to top that for me. It's just, it's the first one, you know, that inspired my love for Star Wars, period. I'll say, I'll just go with every era. For the prequel era, I think I like The Phantom Menace the most. I mean, it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, Revenge of the Sith is like the best one. But I was, what am I supposed to do? I was supposed to, The Phantom Menace I saw when I was 12. And again, it was my first one, and it inspired my love of the prequel era. I'm very grateful that I was, like, at the right age for the prequels. I was young enough that I saw everyone arguing about it online. I was like, what is everyone mad about? Because I loved it. And then for the Disney era, I think The Force Awakens is my favorite one. I'm totally aware of the fact that it is very similar to A New Hope, and I don't care. It was just so much fun, and I'm okay that they played it safe.
And as agreed, I'll return your droid.
Oh, jeez. They keep surprising me with multi-balls.
Now, whatever I say, just play along. If a comet hits, the ship has escape pods.
I think I actually completed a mission. Nope, I don't think it's over yet. Don't you go down there. No! I did that.
It's just a temporary setback, robot. No need
Oh,
to
Krennic or Dryden, Jack? I like Krennic more. Part of the reason is because I really liked his portrayal in the Rogue One book Catalyst.
just demonstrate
If we got a Dryden novel, I might
situations like
get into that character a little more. I liked him as a villain, but Krennic was more compelling to me. I loved his... I don't know, just the way he wants to be more important than he is. Like, the cape was never part of his uniform, but he put a cape on his uniform because he wanted one. Or he has that, like, hipster blaster, and he has his own special shuttle that everyone just kind of lets him have. But he's just so self-important. I like that about him.
Ball save. Stay focused.
Is the holiday special canon? It's not, but a lot of it has been made canon, like Chewie's family. Just little things like that. The bartender from the Mos Eisley Cantina. I can't remember who played her,
This is most unlike you.
but yeah, there are elements from it that are canon.
Shoot again.
A quick hand of Sabak.
Solo is great. B. Vargas, you haven't seen it, but you don't think it looks bad. It's not bad. I thought it was a lot of fun. It made me realize that I think I personally like learning about the Force, which actually kind of surprised me. But I think that, like in Rogue One and Solo, I kind of missed the presence of the Jedi and the Force a little bit.
Let's get that safely stowed away.
My most used Star Wars quote, 3LI, or like in general, because I saw a billion people say "do it" earlier in the chat.
This is just a temporary setback, Lobot. No need to worry.
Oh, Zindu, did I like Dr. Aphra Annual number 2? Yes, I did. I thought it was great. I want to see more from her treasure hunting. I love that kind of stuff. Let's try this one again. Like, I see her as a space Indiana Jones that's like a worse person, but I think using her background in archaeology is an excellent way to start exploring Old Republic stuff, which they have done and are doing. I just wish they were a little more active in that. But yeah, the annual is like what I would have... It's what I wanted from an Aphra story. Treasure hunting, but also her being terrible. I need to not play this mission because it keeps stressing me out with just like the music that never resolves. Woo.
This is most
Well,
like you.
Hayden Christensen in episode 9, I hope so.
Well, I could always go back to mining on
Arthur, which Star Wars quote have I used the most in my life? Weirdly, I have yelled, "I don't care what you smell," a lot at my dog. Or I used to. When I would walk him and he would take forever to go to the bathroom, I'd be like, "I don't care what you smell, just go." And I always would think of Chewbacca when I do that. Alright, this is probably going to be my last game of this. I need to start getting ready, but
to demonstrate my skill.
it's a fun table.
Demonstrating exactly what not to do in situations like this.
If you weren't here earlier, I talked about how I actually really, really like pinball. I used to own a table. I had the old Indiana Jones machine from 93 from Williams, and it was amazing. I wound up selling it, but I would love to get it again someday. I just never had the time to play it, so it just kind of sat there, which was a shame. It deserved someone to play it.
L3, you might want to try and stop those droids from smashing themselves to pieces. They aren't listening, L3. Maybe we should just keep going and lead them to it. Come on, L3. You did all you could, but we need to get moving again.
Smeagol, who do I think the Resistance's Outer Rim allies could be? Maybe Lando?
Ball save.
It's hard to say because, I mean, no one really answered, but even so, Daisy at the end was like, I have a contact in the Outer Rim. And it's like, quiet about the Outer Rim. You've been saying it the whole movie. And no one showed up. Oh, Kerbal is a fun game. I'm terrible at it. I need to actually, like, play through it. Because I've never actually played the game. I've just, like, done my best. KOTOR 1 or 2? I prefer KOTOR 1. Tyler, no, the Old Republic is not canon. I assume you mean the game that's out now? Like, that's still going on, the MMO? No, it is not currently canon.
Let's get that safely stowed away.
Ball save. Stay focused.
You can hear Tom Kane's voice. He is playing Lobot.
This is just a temporary setback, Lobot. No need to worry.
To go? No, I don't think that's Billy D.
Always go back to mining on Lothar. Yeah,
All right.
right.
Well, thanks for hanging out, guys. I think that's it for me.
Single player and hot seat.
We are getting ready to go out to see one of our friends in concert on a Monday night. On a school night of all times. Thanks to everyone who hung out. Thanks for watching. May the Force be with you guys.